Fashion and models from all over the world are strutting along the runway showcasing the latest collections. But walking along the catwalk does not always go quite to plan. Strutting down the catwalk in supersize high heels can be a perilous sport. Just ask the clumsy clothes. To stay on their bodies is not so easy. Here are top 10 models' biggest fails on the fashion runway. Funniest runway model falls of all time. Jessica Stam. Jessica Stam is a good model and actress in fashion industry. In 2006, Stam's right foot tripped her up. Her body collapsed forward. Her forehead hit the runway. It made even your most embarrassing schoolyard fall look weak. But while you probably would burst into tears, this trooper got right back up to applause. This Victoria's Secret angel wasn't so heavenly at the Chloe catwalk in 2006. It was the ultimate embarrassing fall, with her forehead hitting the floor, but this pro got straight back on her feet. Mariah Lafont. Mariah Lafont is the most famous model in fashion industry. Mariah Lafont exudes confidence on the runway in Madrid. But as soon as she does the walk back her ankles give out. You have to give it to her. She tried her hardest to stay up, but the shoes finally defeated her right before she could get backstage. Twice as nice walking downstairs and through moving objects on a runway, and heels and a dress is already hard enough. Now add the element of a competition and you have a recipe for disaster while competing in a runway challenge for America's Next Top Model. Jennifer Hawkins. Jennifer Hawkins had the beauty part down, newly crowned Miss Universe 2004. Jennifer Hopkins needed some help in the grace department. Hopkins was walking an in-store runway show for Westfield Mall in Australia when the crowd got a little more show than on her dress and ended up ripping the whole bottom half of the dress off. To make it worse, her back was already to the audience and they got a full view of her bum and barely their thong fall for a cause. Some say falling on the runway is a rite of passage for a model. Expected the model had caught her heel. After squirming awkwardly and pressing her face into her palm, the former Miss Universe Australia laughed off the incident. Kim Machulova. Kim Machulova is an American fashion model, actress and jewelry maker. During Betsy Johnson 2011 fashion show, model Kim Machulova entered riding a skateboard in spiked stripper heels, the kind with extra room for dollar bills. Unfortunately, she tripped and broke her shoe, and she had to get off and shoulder the skateboard all the way back up the runway. Kim Machulova attempts to skateboard on the runway in heels. Although she pulls the skateboarding trick off successfully, when she attempts to celebrate on stage she literally topples over, model slipping and landing flat on her back. Luckily, viewers and stage crew flock towards her to see if she is okay, and she is. Carmen Electra. Carmen Electra took a fall onto her rear at the start of the show because the runway was so slippery. Opening the show, Electra, the evening's host, walked to the front of the runway and back again to thunderous applause. But just as she took her last step, she slipped. Her feet went into the air and she tumbled to the floor on her bottom. At a Maximum Factor fashion show back in 07, Carmen Electra slipped on the runway and fell flat on her famous butt. The best part is when actress Alison Sweeney tried to help her up, and she also falls down. Oh celebrities, they are just like us. Alexandra Underwood. Alexandra Underwood fell not once, but twice, the second time getting smacked off the runway by a giant, swinging pendulum. Her dress and knee gashed. She proceeded to the runway with a steely business gaze, only to be catapulted off the catwalk by a large pendulum. Alexandra pulled herself back onto the stage, tore the train off her dress in a dramatic flourish that seemed scripted, and strutted off, displaying tears, only when she arrived backstage. After giving the young model a dressing down for looking angry after her first fall, the experts later gave her props for keeping it together. The judges then acted shocked when the inevitable happened, and Alexandra took not one, but two tumbles. Lindsay Wixon. Alexandra Underwood fell not once, but twice, the second time getting smacked off the runway by a giant, swinging pendulum. Her dress and knee gashed. She proceeded to the runway with a steely business gaze, only to be catapulted off the catwalk by a large pendulum. Alexandra pulled herself back onto the stage, tore the train off her dress in a dramatic flourish that seemed scripted, and strutted off, displaying tears, only when she arrived backstage. After giving the young model a dressing down for looking angry after her first fall, the experts later gave her props for keeping it together. The judges then acted shocked when the inevitable happened, and Alexandra took not one, but 2 tumbles. Plus size model falls. Models come in all shapes and sizes, but that doesn't mean the bigger girls can stay on their feet. While walking the runway for Indiana's Black Expo in 2012, this plus size model became the highlight of the show. She started her way down the catwalk with a sultry strut and even flirted with the audience. Then as she turned to strut her way back, the model fell to her knees. And then off the stage. The fall was an internet sensation when it comes to top model competitions. Mariah Ampero. In the 2008 series of Supermodelo, Spain's version of America's Next Top Model, Mariah Ampero made a splash when falling into a swimming pool during a catwalk. Mariah Ampero is a model who shows a model in a savvy red dress. As she turns to head back up the runway, she does not look where she is going. And as a result, she ends up walking too far to her left and falls straight in a pool that is there. In most fails, other models on stage do not react and simply continue with their walk. However, in a swimwear collection show, one model trips and falls on her walk back up the runway. Mingzi model. Model Mingzi took a tumble on the catwalk during the 2017 Victoria's Secret fashion show in Shanghai, China. It seems as though the Chinese fashion model got tangled in her flowing, sheer ensemble. However, the 28-year-old model handled the whole situation like a pro. Even if the fall was an embarrassing moment for Mingzi, she didn't let any humiliation show on her face. She maintained a smile throughout the experience and wasn't afraid to laugh at herself. After adjusting her hair and wings, she got up and proceeded to walk. She even received applause from the audience and her fellow models. In 2015 and 2016, she was Model of the Year at the 2nd Annual Fashion Awards. Thanks for watching. Have you guys ever seen anything this weird? Check out some more videos on screen now, and don't forget to subscribe.